G'day, my name is Bill Standish, and this is the RBL Week 9 versus Patrick, coach of the, I think, maybe Atlanta Alterias? Could be it, not sure. And we have a match which is Week 9. As you may have seen from our last few games, we've been getting a few wins, and this is a very important game, because if we walk away with a win, it puts us in a good position because we've beaten another person who's in the top 5 slots, which is the place we want to get by the end of the season to try and get into a playoff position. So this was a very important game to win, and if we beat Patrick here, it puts him at a less optimal position, meaning basically he can't lose another game. So I needed to really play well in this game and prep well. So as you can see, he has the clef thing. He has the king, which we battled earlier in his sister. We have the Delphox, which is sort of scary. We have the Scum, which is stop. The Dragonite, which is spoopy, and we have this, which is spoopy. My team is sorta cool. It's sorta like the how the hell do I hit this team? But then we have Raichu, which is actually static because I have Surf for this Tang. So yeah, it's Heatran, Raichu, we got their buddies. You see these two, red steel types. Originally I had Lipod on the team, and I was going to make a joke how I got both my cats, but it's all good. Anyway, I decided to lead off with Sceptile. There was a few, actually I'll explain this, there was a few leads I considered, and then I thought, Sceptile is a lead that I don't think he'll really expect. I don't think he has too much for it in terms of his leads. He leads Delphox, some calcing stuff. A Fire Blast doesn't kill me, and a HP Ice will, but I don't expect him to carry HP Ice. So I stay in and I just Dragon Pulse as he goes for the HP Ground. I know as soon as he goes for it that it's HP Ground. I know it's not anything else. And so he doubles out into Clef. I sort of wanted to predict that, but I was like, maybe not. I go for the Leaf Storm hit and I miss, which is just very annoying because it would have put this in range where he would want to swap out because the Wish. No, he probably would have protected, but I would probably swap out or something, as that was very annoying. Either way, I swap in Heatran as he swaps out into this. And how did that actually work? Yeah, I swapped this in, and then he withdraws and drops this in, and I didn't want to stay in because I knew he had HP Ground, so I go into Interference as I can then just throw off a Shadow Ball. I do actually have a special cool, funky, awesome, dope move on the Espeon, which I actually packed for something else, so I've packed for the Skarmory, but it helps with the Clefable right now as I am able to Morning Sun as it goes for Wish, thus meaning I will come out on this interaction with higher health. Here I just go for another Psychic, I can do some more damage, and then on the next turn I go for the Moonlight. No, I go for another Psychic, I can live. Here though I go for the Morning Sun as he drops in Nidoking, but I know as soon as he drops it in, this is not the Nidoking, this is definitely the Zoroark. As I predict this, I live with the Colbur Berry and I go for the Dazzling Gleam, knocking out Zoroark, which I think is a fantastic play. Bill, is that a fantastic play? I think it is. And sends in Dragonite and he goes for E-Speed. I know straight away this is definitely Choice Banded, so I can bring in Heatran as I fire off a HP Ice. This comes in and gets crit. Now, Patrick will argue and debate that this crit absolutely lost him the game because it was the worst thing that could fucking happen, because he fucking won every time that thing came in because it was such a huge fucking threat and all that shit. But I disagree for a few reasons. Yes, Nidoking comes in, but your Nidoking was scuffed. Then you have 3 players in my opinion. You say you have 4, I think you have 3. I have a Heatran in. You can predict 2 of my switches, being Gyarados, weak to Electric, which no doubt have Thunderbolt, or you can predict Sceptile, 4 times weak to Ice, which you can predict, or you can predict me to stay in, go for the Earth Power, which I have an immunity to and a resistance to, but I will live either way if I stay in, as I have a Sugar Berry. Your only other play. So you have 3 attacking options, or you can double out. But if you do, what do you double out into? Because if I do make the switch and I go into Gyarados, for example, I can live any one hit from a Delphox and then proceed to Dragon Dance up and knock you out. If I go into Sceptile, I can take any hit, I can take an Extreme Speed and knock you out with a Dragon Pulse. Like, the thing I don't understand about this is, you said that you would double out after that. But what would you go into? I don't know. I don't understand. I don't think it mattered because I would have 2 KO'd if you went for Earth Power. My play was to stay in. You may have over predicted and you would have died. I don't really care what happened. It happened. I don't think it was too important. You can argue all you want. I just don't think it's important. Either way, this thing comes in. I'm like, I kind of want my Sugar Berry just in case Dragonite becomes an option. He predicts that perfectly, so well done. As he doubles out into this. And I was like, oh, because Gyarados is actually one of my checks to Scar. And then here I fire off a Leaf Energy Ball. My plan here is to put him into range where a Leaf Storm can kill, but an Energy Ball won't, if you get what I mean. So that he might think, oh, I can just wish, but then he doesn't. I knew I could live 1 Moonblast, that's why I was staying in, because I knew I could live on like 2%. And here he does protect on my Leaf Storm, which is annoying. But then this thing comes in, I can go for a Dragon Pulse, and I can go for another one. Just, I know I'm sacking this off, but I can get big damage off on this. So Sceptile does go down, as I bring in my Swan God, because I know it's in range for a Choice Band Bullet Punch, as he sends in his Dragonite. Here I was like, okay, I'll go into Gyarados expecting the Fire Punch as he goes into Skarmory, which is perfect because I can taunt this, stop it from setting up any hazards or whirlwinding me out. I can then set up a Dragon Dance, which will allow me to do a lot of damage. I think it's 40% damage with Waterfall, which is helpful. So I go for the Waterfall as he swaps into Dragonite. Here I do miscalc, but I think my play probably would have still been the same. Sorry about that. But I calced Intimidated Dragonite. I didn't actually like put the -1 on it. It just does that on damage calc. If you just like load up a Choice Banded Dragonite, then load up Gyarados, it'll just put the Intimidate on it without telling you. So that's annoying. But I feel like I probably would have sacked it anyway, because locking this thing into E-Speed is kind of bueno. But maybe it would have been a bad play, because maybe I could have... I do have 2 resists to this, but anyway. From here, I do just send in my Sneaky, and I can go for the Stealth Rocks, knowing you're going to swap out, as he does, because I know you're Choice Banded. I go for the Flamethrower, and it does a lot of damage. He goes for the Wish, annoyingly, and this is where... I'm going to pause it, hold up. This is where the game gets very, very long, because, basically, Clef has Wish and Protect, and he has a Skarmory, which switches into my Sizzle, one of my only ways of killing the Clefable. So I'm going to speed this up, and I'm going to put some narration over it so you can understand what my way to win is. So we will speed that up now.
What we do here is go back.
So essentially my way to win this game is to pressure Clefable out of the field and then send in double out into something that threatens out Skarmory, which of I have 2 things of, being Raichu and Heatran. But then I want to pressure out Clefable when it's at a point that after rocks it can't take 2 hits from either Raichu or Heatran, meaning I have to whittle it a lot. And then by that time Clefable goes down and everything else will drop to Choice Banded, Bullet Punch and Rocks. So that's essentially how I win this game, and of course I do win this game. On the last turn I get in the last few turns Dragonite is E-speeding, and everyone thought the play was U-turn because then I can drop in Raichu for free, but I can just Bullet Punch because I know he's got a Roost straight away, and then double out on the second Roost, as then I can go for the Thunderbolt, and then he has to either attack me, knocking himself out, or doesn't attack me, and going for Roost, meaning I can attack him and kill him on the next turn. So he takes the differential and kills me, meaning that I get the 1-0 rather than 2-0, which I'm okay with. So, a bit of an interesting game, because it was long, it took a lot of turns, and it was a lot of Wish stalling, which I don't agree with, because I don't agree with the set that he brought on Clefable. I have 3 fairy switch-ins, and his Clefable did nothing to either of them. He claimed that it beats all of them, but for example, if I brought Venomoth, I set up all over you. Like, what are you doing with that? And if I ran Flash Cannon on my Heatran, I would have been able to beat it one-on-one, so I don't agree with that set at all. But he was confident in it, so I'm gonna let him do what he do. As always, I want to say, you know, like, I'm not annoyed or at Patrick. I'm not saying he's bad, I just don't agree with his plays. He thinks, and this also goes for the earlier, like, Night King thing, I just don't agree with it. But, you know, that's the way he sees the game. I probably don't see it exactly the way he does. So it's probably just like a little there's probably just something lost in translation that we both just missed one little thing. That's completely fine. He played the game pretty well, and he understood his win con, but I think my pressure was just a bit too much for him in the late game. But either way, thank you guys for watching. My name is Will Standish, and adios.